they brought this up on NBC today, and what they thought about this was after the stage. If they thought Sky would go on the offensive tomorrow. If I'm Sky and I'm Chris Froome, you don't want to give up tomorrow's stage. I mean, that's crazy. That's an opportunity to isolate a Rue, get Astana in trouble, and that might just happen naturally because might just not have the firepower. You might as well put a Team Sky rider in the breakaway. I was thinking, as I said yesterday, I thought Froome was going to distance his rivals, or at least gain some time on some people. He obviously lost to just about everybody, except for like Simon Yates today. I thought it would be smart to just for Froome to just go in the breakaway in this stage. I was doubtful that it would happen because I just didn't think that they would really do something that crazy. But I'm gonna go back to the Vuelta last year, and most of you probably know where I'm going with this, and I've gotta find the stage. So let me see. I'm not sure which stage it was. It's not that one. But this is a stage where Nairo Quintana went in the breakaway. It was a short stage. A short climbing day. And Nairo Quintana went in the breakaway. And Chris Froome and Sky got isolated because they didn't have a very strong team at that point. I think it's stage 15. Yes, I think it was stage 15. Let me check on that. Maybe not. So, but let me explain. So, pretty much, Alberto Contador attacked. This is the Vuelta last year. And Quintana got on his wheel. And they pretty much formed a breakaway. And this is the point where Nairo Quintana is in red. But he has to take more time out of Froome because there's a long, like, 37-kilometer time trial on stage 19. And so Nairo Quintana knows that he's got to take time. So they go on the attack. They take a bunch of time out of Froome. And pretty much he is left to his own devices to chase, and he can't bring them back in. And I think that there's a possibility, and looking at Froome today, I don't think he's going to feel strong enough right away to do this. But I think there's a possibility of somebody in Sky. I think Landa is a definite possibility, but I would not count out Chris Froome going into the breakaway, a big breakaway, and with a couple Sky teammates and trying to drive a lead for 100K and just see if they could gain time on a road, get the yellow back, and take things back into control. I can't find a stage in the Vuelta right now, but I explained to you what I was pretty sure happened, and I'm hesitant about Froome to say that I predict him to do this, and I'm not gonna say that I predict him to do this, but I think that there's a possibility that he could go in the breakaway tomorrow. He's mentioned before that you've got to take time in this tour when people don't expect you to, and I think if there's one stage that people will not expect Chris Froome to take time is the day after he lost the yellow jersey in 100K. I mean, 100K, if they get in that breakaway, they can go all out because they're not going to crack because they know. And then, I mean, there's a 25-kilometer descent after the last Cat 1, which means that, there's not going to be a lot of chance for the peloton to catch a breakaway with just a climb, on a climb, because a peloton, with GC guys, obviously would be stronger than a breakaway. There's not a lot of opportunity, and I think it's going to be a breakaway day, even without Chris Froome in the breakaway. I think it's going to be a breakaway day just because of how short it is, and it's going to be up to Astana. Someone from the GC is going to attack. I think that's a guarantee. I think you could see Mikel Landa in the breakaway to make Astana work to bring him back because he's only like 2 and change minutes down. I think that a sneaky move from Martin or Yates even
I think Pierre Latour could be in the breakaway. He's 8 minutes and 13 seconds down, which is pretty far down, but try to get in the top 10. Um, there's gonna be somebody's gonna move in the GC, and it's there probably won't be a result from this. It'll probably still be a Rue at the end of the day in yellow, with the similar standings, but I wouldn't count out anything from the GC men. Now, I said I was going to go through kind of the rest of the tour, and the reason I'm going to do that is just because I'm looking at Fabio Aru and what he can do to win this race. 6 seconds down on Chris Froome.
Stage 1, Chris Froome took he took over 30 seconds on Aru. Okay, he took 40 seconds on Aru, stage 1, on a 13.4 kilometer time trial. Stage 20, we have a 22.5 kilometer time trial. And I'm going to look at the course right now. It's kind of technical. I'm not going to lie. It is kind of technical. They start and finish in the Orange Velodrome, which is a stadium. I'm not sure what stadium. But there are definitely some turns in this race. There's a roundabout at one point. They have to go around. And they end up repeating the course that they were on. Pretty much they do a loop and then they cut back on it pretty similarly. So it is kind of a technical course, which will help Aru in that case. In the course profile, there is a small little climb about 7K to go. Let's see. There's no distance. There's no description of that climb. But there's a little climb right before the second checkpoint. And I think it's a guarantee that Froome will get 30 seconds. And I know I said that before, but there's a guarantee that Froome will get 30 seconds on Aru in my mind. I mean, obviously Froome could end up cracking the third week and not gain that. But I think if they win on a time trial tomorrow, I think Froome would gain 30 seconds on him. Obviously, Aru would want to rise to the occasion and put in a good time. And I think that's possible. I think it's very possible. But I also think Froome, this is Chris Froome in the Tour de France. He's going to be at his best in a time trial. I just think he is. And I just think that's just a guarantee in my mind that he's going to take 30 seconds out of him. With that being said, Sky doesn't, and NBC Sports said this, and I'm not trying to just go off of what they said, but Froome doesn't want to go in 6 seconds down, on Fabio Aru. He doesn't want to trust that he's going to do a good time in the time trial. He doesn't want to put it off to that, because he kind of did that in the Vuelta and made a mistake and then lost a bunch of time. He's going to have to be aggressive. You're going to see Chris Froome, he's going to want that yellow jersey back before stage 20. He's not going to want to wait 8 days to get back into that. 9 days. And then I'm just going to point out some possibilities. Obviously, I talked about tomorrow. Not a great chance that he's going to try and take time then, but it's a possibility. Stage 15, I mentioned not as much of a day as I thought it would be, as I thought. It'll probably be a breakaway day. There's 2 Cat 1s, a Cat 3, and a Cat 4. I think it'll, as I said just now, a breakaway day. But I think the GC guys will finish together. And then you go to stage. Then you got stage 16, which is a sprint day. Pretty surely, and then I talked about stage 17, which is going to be a day for Fabio Aru and Astana to prove themselves, and then stage 18, which is the penultimate day of the tour. Right now it's the Queen stage. I know they talked about stage 9 being the Queen stage, but as of right now it's the Queen stage. Not much, just a pretty flat day until about 60K to go, and there's a Cat 1, the Col de Vars, which is, if I pull that up, 9.3K, average 7.5%, maximum grade 12.7%. So that's a climb. That's gonna create some gaps. not between the top GC guys, but that's gonna whittle down the group. Then you have the Col d'Azard. Hope I pronounced that right. Which is 14.1K, 7.3% maximum group, 12.3%. And this is gonna be the last chance for the climbers. This is gonna be the last chance for people to for Nairo Quintana to take time, for Alberto Contador to take time, for Aru to take time. Pretty much for everybody but Chris Froome to take time, in my mind. Everybody else is not going to be able to gain time in the time trial. Maybe Dan Martin can gain 10 seconds on Aru, here or there, But everybody's going to lose time to Chris Froome on that final time trial. I think that's a given. Having said that, Fabio Aru is going to want more than 6 seconds in the GC. It's a battle of who's gonna gain time before this Stage 20 time trial. I think the Stage 20 time trial is going to decide it in the end. I don't know if Froome's going to be in yellow. Obviously, nobody does going into that. And if anybody remembers, it seems like forever ago,
There was a big conflict with Chris Froome's Aero skin suit, and Team Sky's skin suits that gave them apparently a big advantage. I have no stats on that, but it sounds like it gave them a big advantage. If Chris Froome is in yellow at that point, he does not have that aerodynamic advantage, I'm pretty sure, because the tour organizers give Froome a yellow skin suit to wear for that time trial. If he's not in yellow, then he gets to wear the skin suit that he wants to. I don't know if that'll alter his decision. Obviously, if he's in yellow, he's still going to be able to take time out of guys, and he's going to want to be in yellow in the first place. But there's that small little part in my head saying that if he's not in yellow, he might be able to take more time. Obviously, he'll want and need to take more time, because he doesn't need to take any time. Just, we all know that. But just be aware that if he's not in yellow, he's going to have probably the better skin to wear, which will give him an advantage, even more so than just himself being the best time trialist out of those GC guys by a pretty wide margin. That's all I really got to say for today. Tomorrow, as I said, gonna be a crazy day, Bastille Day. My prediction tomorrow, let's see, I'm gonna go through the French riders by country. As I said, I'm on this Tour Tracker app. Let's see. This Sylvain Chavanel, last Tour de France, most likely. 38 minutes back, not going to be a worry on GC. Breakaway specialist, Tony Gallopin. There's some guys in here. I think that if you're going to see the 4 freshmen you're going to see in this breakaway are Chavanel, Gallopin, Lilian Calmezan, and Pierre Roland. And I think Anna Monard from BMC is going to try and salvage something for BMC. I also think that you'll see Greg Van Avermaet in the breakaway. And I think it's going to come down to a breakaway sprint. And I'm going to have to go with Greg Van Avermaet to win the stage. And it's not a Frenchman. He's not a Frenchman, but I think he's coming into this race strong. Excuse me. And I think he's going to be all for getting the stage win tomorrow. And BMC's going to be behind him, probably with another man, as I said, in the breakaway. So I'm going to go with him. And I'm going to have the GC guys finishing together. Nobody really gaining any time or losing any time tomorrow. Alright, once again, thanks for listening. Give this channel a subscribe, like the video. Follow me on Instagram, Pro Cycling Analysis. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow.